Greetings, Hebrew family and friends. This is Yuda. I want to talk to y'all today about what I see as a serious hindrance for our people, and it's called the lack of knowledge. Hopefully this lesson will explain why we are so lost and so deep in misunderstanding. So I'll start out by saying we took a book from our enemy and entered into a covenant with a God we trusted that came from them. We made a covenant with a God we didn't know. The Most High warned us about this very thing, as Jeremiah 16:13 proves. Therefore, I will cast you off from this good land into a land which neither you nor your fathers have known. That land is the land where we were scattered to the four corners of the earth. And you shall serve their other gods. What is he saying? You shall serve their other gods? Let me ask you a question. What God did they hand us when we arrived on these unknown lands? The first and foremost was Jesus Christ. Our forefathers never knew any God of that source, who shall have no mercy upon you. Upon our arrival into this land, we knew not. Who was the first God introduced to us? Jesus, their God, not ours. We would have known that God if it had been true. Our people had no knowledge of this God who came newly up. Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. And listen closely to this, especially those who consider themselves priests, that thou shalt be no priest to me. That means there is no priest today. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. That will be us. We trusted this book, the New Testament, on their word alone. We did no investigation into the source of this book or the ones who wrote it. We abandoned the book of knowledge, the Torah, and took another book, God, in its place. What steps should the Hebrews take? First of all, we should learn how to look into the background of those who rule the earth. How many of you can agree that the New Testament confused everyone who read it? Honestly speaking, I don't think there's one person that can truly say that when they read the New Testament, it was extremely clear. And if you say you did get an extreme clear vision or understanding of that book, I'm going to have to say that's not true. So what is this knowledge? What does it mean by lack of knowledge? Lacking in knowledge or training, unlearned and ignorant man, lacking knowledge or information as to a particular subject or fact, uninformed, unaware, due to or showing lack of knowledge or training, an ignorant statement. Isaiah said it best. Isaiah chapter 5 and verse 13. Therefore, my people are gone into captivity because they have no knowledge. and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. The problem that I see today is, first of all, and first and foremost, reading a book that was not written for you, written by people who hate you, written by those that handed you this book. You have to ask this question: why would a people that want to destroy your entire nation want to give you a book that they claim will give you salvation? I mean, that's an oxymoron. That means that they wanted to help you. Well, we know that's not true. So that means this book couldn't have been for our best interest. It was in their best interest. And yeah, it was forced upon us in the beginning, but through the generations, it became accepted by the younger generations, and then also later became fact to them. They had begun to believe this because they had no previous history of the true nature and the true God of Israel. So they passed this fake book down through their generations until it came into this very day. Now they're so deep into this fake book that was written by people who are scholars, very trained, experts, skilled in writing novels, fictions, and other material that's not good for us. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 3 to 8. To receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity, to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels. To understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. So here's the problem. When we read the New Testament, or when we used to, or whatever the case may be, that's as far as we go. We will not look past what our physical eyes can see, not realizing that the true source of what's going on in our lives today is hidden in the background. The people that you see, and I'm calling them people for the sake of clarity, but the people you see today that you think are ruling this world, they're just puppets. They're not ruling anything. There's some people in the background. They remain hidden, and that's by choice. Whenever a person chooses to hide, it's usually or always because they're up to no good. That's why they want to stay hidden. So they are working in the background. These are the rulers of the entire world. The bank cartels, the Illuminatis, the Freemasons, the churches, the Catholics, all of these people are operating as front row to distract you, while those in the background carry out their agenda. And when things go bad, what do? We blame the ones that we can see, never touching the real ones that's responsible. This is what it means to seek knowledge. You have to investigate. You have to look past what you see and look for the background, look for the hidden things. I believe this is what the Most High was trying to tell us when he says we forsake the knowledge. The knowledge is in the book he gave us. That is the Torah. All the scriptures where he says, come back to my Torah or come back to me, is not referring to a new book or a new God that came newly up. He told us this was going to happen. And when we came into these lands across the four corners of the earth, we came into this encounter with this God that came newly up. He was brand new to our people. Our fathers didn't know him. We didn't know him. And we ended up accepting this book written by our enemy. None of this book was written by any of our people, and neither was it influenced by the Most High himself. First, I want to tell you, when the Most High ordained the Torah to be written by the men that he chose, he did not leave anything out. He did not forget to tell us anything. Amos 3:7 makes that clear. So if the New Testament was in our future, one of those prophets at the very least would have mentioned it. Job chapter 36 and verse 12. But if they obey not, they shall perish by the sword, and they shall die without knowledge. This is going to keep coming up because the message here is to look for the knowledge. Look for the people operating in the dark. That's the source. Forget about the ones that you can see. They're being run by the ones you can't see. They're just following orders. Proverbs chapter 2 verse 6. For the Most High giveth wisdom. Out of his mouth come knowledge and understanding. The words of the Torah came directly from the mouth of the Most High. The New Testament does not come from the mouth of the Most High. That's why you never hear him refer to the New Testament. Do you really believe that if that was his book, that he would have mentioned it at least once? It won't make any sense for him to create a book for Israel and not tell them about that book. And he would not have had Europeans write a book for him. He don't change. Malachi 3 and 6. So if he used his chosen people to write the first book, he would have chosen the same nation to write the second book. That should go without saying. Proverbs chapter 1 verse 7. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Psalm 111 and verse 10. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding has all they that do his commandments. His praise endures forever. How do you get a good understanding? If you read a book that's built on false pretense or built on a false foundation, there is no good understanding there. The only thing you will find there is the mischievous works of your enemy. That will not serve any good to you. Jeremiah chapter 4 and verse 22. For my people are foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have no understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. So we can see knowledge is critical. Knowledge is critical. So what we need to do is learn how to seek knowledge. If you get into the New Testament book, you're going to be shut out from knowledge. He didn't put knowledge there. The Europeans did. And whatever knowledge you get from that book, it is not meant to serve you well. It is meant to distract you, lead you astray, cause you to be divided among your own people, and even to the point of going to war with your own people. There is no knowledge in that book. Hosea chapter 4 and verse 1. Hear the word of the Most High, ye children of Israel, not Europeans. For the Most High hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. The land is where we have been scattered. He's telling you there is no truth there. But yet our people are clinging to this New Testament book written by the enemy in the land that we did not know, neither did our forefathers. But yet they are willing to go to war with us who believe in the Torah on the content of either books. They have no knowledge. Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 15. The heart of the prudent getteth knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. So if you're wise, then you should know. You have to seek knowledge. That knowledge is not visible in the New Testament. It's not visible when you look at the government. It's not visible when you look at the Congress, legislature, corporations, Catholic churches, or even the churches that some of you might attend. There is no knowledge there. Where do you get this knowledge? You have to listen to the Most High. He only speaks in the Torah. There is nothing in the New Testament that says, thus saith the Most High. That is your first red flag. Proverbs 1, chapter 7, verse 7, chapter 1, verse 7. Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can be. So my people, who are called by the name of the Most High, please, I ask you, change the way you seek your answers. Learn how to look past what your physical eye sees. We are not in a battle of flesh and blood. We're fighting against spirits that you cannot see. That's why they stay hidden. They influence your very thoughts. They influence your actions and your daily lives. Whether you realize that or not, you think you'll make these decisions all on your own. I tell you the truth. 90% of your decisions in your daily lives are influenced by the actions and events in this world today. And the Most High has told you this is from your enemy. And you need to understand. How can you understand unless you look to the background and not what's up front? What's up front is purely a distraction. That is the purpose of all these events that we see today. It's all to keep you focused on things you cannot change instead of things that can change you. And the things that can change you is the Torah. Jesus cannot help you. All praises to the Most High. I hope this reaches the people that need it the most. Shalom.